I'm Cathy, this is my June reading journal and welcome to Lunabird Book Club. Here is the situation at the start of June for my reading. I have no books on my TBR and we're about to go on holiday to Whitby for a week, so I need some reading materials. So I've jumped in the car and I'm just parked outside the library. I'm going to go and get some books for my holiday, and of course the moment I talk about holiday it starts raining. It is currently raining outside, it's a bit drizzly, but I don't mind. I'm northern, I'm English, I can embrace a summer rain, it's all good. So yeah, I'm going to go in the library and pick some books out for June. Oh, and the other reading thing I should tell you about is I'm currently listening to The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan, book 2 of The Wheel of Time, and I'm really enjoying it. In fact, I'm getting through this book quicker than I anticipated, and I should probably slow down because Rachel said she's also going to start re-listening to The Wheel of Time so that we can review all the books on the blog. So I do need to slow down because I don't think she's even started Eye of the World yet, and I'm like halfway through The Great Hunt. So I'm not making it easy on her. Anyway, I'm gonna go get some books and then I'm gonna go to Greg's and pick up some nice treats for lunch. That's the plan. It is the day after my last clip and I've just come on to show you my library haul. Okay, first one, North Woods by Daniel Mason. Very creepy, kind of unsettling cover and back cover. And the inside blurb says, "For centuries, a single house deep in the woods of New England. A young Puritan couple on the run. An English soldier with a fantastic vision. Inseparable twin sisters. A lovelorn painter and a lusty beetle. A desperate mother and her haunted son. A ruthless conman and a stalking panther. Buried secrets, madness, dreams and hope. All are connected. The dark, raucous, beautiful past is very much alive. Exhilarating, daring and playful, North Woods will change the way you see the world." Yeah, so that almost read like a collection of short stories rather than a novel, so I don't know what to expect going into this, but I liked the sound of that. Then I got Test Kitchen, which very...
Is this a cookbook or a horror story?
Again, very creepy, very horror. It kind of gives the vibes of, what is that film with Ray Fiennes in it? There was a horror...
Harry Potter.
Not Harry Potter. There's a film and he's like this chef on this island and they kill everybody on the island and it's meant to be like a high dining experience, but with murder. I can't remember what it's called now, but I watched it. It was a very good film, but very freaky. Again, the blurb is kind of set in the same style as the last one. "Welcome to a Tuesday night at London restaurant Midgard. The kitchen is buzzing, the tables are set, and the staff and guests take their place. The maitre d' caught up in a conspiracy. The precocious young foodie with an axe to grind. The nervous new sous chef. The anonymous influential food critic. The pâtissière chef stalked by her ex-lover. The wayward son of a dangerous family. The enigmatic head chef with the past she won't discuss. The lone diner with the terrible wound to his face. Watching everything from her hidden vantage is Marley, the restaurant's newest waitress. She alone knows bad things are about to unfold, but she is powerless to intervene. Tonight, everyone has a story. Is it too late to change how this one ends?" So again, another creepy, tense horror vibes in that. And clearly I was just in a dark mode because the next one I picked up is Hare House. Hare House is not its real name, of course. I have, if you will forgive me, kept names to a minimum here. for reasons which will be understandable. In the first brisk days of autumn, a woman arrives to make a new life in a remote corner of southwest Scotland.
Dun, dun, dun.
Thanks, Lola. Hoping to leave the secrets of her past behind, moving into a cottage on the remote estate of Hare House, she begins to explore her new home. Striking up a friendship with the landlord Grant and his young sister Cass, she soon begins to suspect that all might not be quite as it seems at Hare House. For among the rolling moors and dark forests are the whispers of witchcraft and local tales of young men sent mad.
It's a book of the month.
Oh yes, so it is. Book of the month. So I very quickly picked up these 3 quite dark, horror-ish tales.
And then are the other the exact opposite?
Yeah, well then I realised that we're about to go on holiday. I'm going to need some light, fun summer reads as well. So I went scouring the library for that and I got 2. The first is The Bookshop of Second Chances, which looks like a little cute romance.
So cute.
I won't read the full blurb, but it says, an enchanting story of Scottish lords, second-hand books and new beginnings, perfect for fans of Veronica Henry and Jenny Colgan. I'm a fan of Jenny Colgan. I think I will enjoy this. And then the last one I got was The Way Back. And I have started this one already this morning. The Cadogan children haven't spoken to each other for 3 years, but their father Jerry has a plan to bring them back together. To scatter his ashes, they must drive his old camper van up to Scotland. For the trip, Jerry has provided them with just 3 family photo albums and a bottle of single malt whiskey.
That's such a granddad thing to do.
Yeah, so this is about 3 adult siblings reconnecting after their father's death and going on a camper van journey up to Scotland, and I've read the first couple of chapters and I'm really enjoying it so far. So that was my library haul, and then I've seen Rachel today and she's passed on a book that she thinks I will like, and I think I will like it too. It's called The Maggie, and it's also set in Scotland, I believe.
I thought it said The Midgie.
When wealthy American businessman Calvin B. Marshall wants to transport a precious cargo to his mansion in the Western Isles, Mac Taggart, the skipper of the flimsy rust bucket the Maggie, manages to trick him into hiring it for £300, the exact sum needed to renew his loading licence. So and I think this is another like travel, adventure, comedic story. This will probably be all my reading in June and I am looking forward to getting into it. We are going on holiday tomorrow to Whitby. So my grandma picked me up a Whitby jigsaw from the charity shop. And this has been a lovely way to prepare for a holiday. Do a jigsaw where you're going. How sweet. Anyway, we set off tomorrow, so before I packed it away, I wanted to make sure it was included in the vlog. Hello, it is Tuesday the 3rd of June and I'm filming this from Whitby, which is a seaside town in Yorkshire. Beautiful place. We have come here for a week's holiday and we arrived yesterday. So this vlog will also be a little bit of a holiday vlog. So yeah, we set off yesterday. On the way here, we went to the Forbidden Corner, which is one of our favourite places to visit. Forbidden Corner is like a really big garden land, parkland that has been divided up into different mazes and gardens to explore, and they're full of statues, follies, little hidden things, pretend castles, and it's just an amazing place to explore. It's in the middle of the Yorkshire Dales, so quite a bit of a drive to get there, but really worth visiting, and just everywhere you look there is something interesting. We brought Ola there for the first time last year and she's been asking to go back ever since, so we went yesterday, had an amazing time there, loved seeing everything. Honestly, you kind of go around once and you rush and all is just like running from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, but it's also worth to like go really, really slowly because there's so much like hidden detail in there, and a lot of the statues and paintings and mazes are like telling this story that are worth digging into a bit. So we did that yesterday. It was so much fun. And then after we did a couple of hours at the Forbidden Corner, we set off to our holiday house, which is what we're in now. So I'm in Peck's Cottage in Whitby. It is a beautiful little self-catering cottage and we are right by the harbour. So I thought I'd give you a little tour of where I am, and then I'll tell you about the books I'm reading. Okay, so when you come in through the front door, you enter this like living kitchen area. Our stuff is already everywhere. It's like a nice dining area, a nice kitchen area, and then this is obviously the best thing about being here is just the views out. So you can see from the cottage, from quite a few different windows, you can see the Abbey up on the hill, and the harbour is just down there, and some of the streets and shops. And we also have this balcony area, so when it's dry we can go outside here and go up some stairs. Into the living room. Are you enjoying watching Narnia? But yeah, lovely living room here. And it
Play noughts and crosses.
can play noughts and crosses. And again, that lovely view out the window.
And seagull statues.
And seagull statues. And behind here there is one of the bedrooms. We're not really using this bedroom here, but it's here and it's very sweet. Oh, has Aslan arrived?
Yep.
Hi, Aslan. Okay, I'll keep going. There's a bathroom in here. And then we go up again. I mean, there is a lot of stairs in this property. There's another bathroom there. Little ensuite. Okay, so this is Ola's room for the week, which she has already made her own. These are the books that Ola has brought with her. She's got The Frightful First World War, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and then her Bible. Again, Ola's got the best views, I think, of them all. And then there's like this wardrobe space. There's me, hello. And Ola's set up the dressing table. Yeah, just look, Ola's got the best views of us all because she can see the sea, the harbour and the Abbey all from this window, which is really lovely. And across the road there, let me zoom in, Abbey Wharf. We went for tea there last night and that was really nice. It was about a 5-minute walk away from where we are. We had to cross over the bridge and I had the seafood linguine and it was amazing. It was so tasty and the portion was huge. I'm afraid I ate about half of it, and even though it was really tasty, that was the best I could do. So yeah, that was really nice, and I think we'll probably cross the bridge again. And we saw so many cute little shops yesterday evening as we were walking around that I think we'll need to go back today and visit the shops when they're open. Luckily when we arrived yesterday the sun was out, so after we'd unloaded our stuff we had a really good walk around Whitby. We went to the beach, went to the pier, and we took in the views and it was really, really beautiful. Okay, and then this is where Rob and I are sleeping this week. So again, lovely views. And then got wardrobe space and a nice dressing table area. Okay, and just to finish this off, I'll show you what I'm reading. I am 3/4 of the way through The Way Back. This is, it's a bit of a tricky story. So it's 3 siblings doing a road trip in a camper van to spread their father's ashes, but the siblings haven't really spoken to one another in 5 years. So on the journey they are unpacking a kind of a family breakdown and hopefully reconnecting. And I feel like I'm kind of at the bit where they're at the most fractious. I'm hoping soon they will be joined together a bit more. But it's been a really interesting read and really engaging, and I have enjoyed it so far. And I've also read this morning The Artist's Way, the first chapter for week 1. So that was interesting, and yeah, so that's everything. So I'll leave it there for now, and I might show you a bit today of what we get up to. Hi, it is now Wednesday the 4th of June. I have finished The Way Back. I feel like this almost ticked all the boxes of what I wanted it to do. It was a nice family story of a family kind of reconnecting after trauma and processing things. There was just something about it though. By the way, if you can hear some like weird noises in the background, Ola's bought a new slinky and she's playing with it on the staircase behind me. Oh, just come into the room. Hi, Ola.
I have a slinky.
You do have a slinky. Ola's bought a new slinky today. Although it's hard to pinpoint, there's something about this that just fell a little bit flat for me. On one hand, I don't know. Just like none of it kind of hit home the way I thought it would. I think there was just a couple of bits in it that I found hard to believe, including, so the brother, his wife has left him about a month ago when the story starts. He has a 3 or 4 year old daughter, and the mum's kind of abandoned them both, and him and his daughter have like had to move into a friend's house, and they're kind of living in their spare room. And yet the brother still decides to go on this road trip with his 2 sisters for 4 days, leaving his little daughter behind with this couple who the daughter's only known like 2 or 3 weeks when they've moved in, like within a month of their mum leaving them. I just found that hard to believe, because like, I don't think that would be in the daughter's best interest, and I couldn't imagine doing that as a parent. So, you know, there's just a couple of bits like that pull me out of it.
Why didn't the daughter come with them?
Well, exactly, although they could have just brought the little daughter with them. That's what I would do. Anyway, that aside, this was a pretty good book, but nothing to shout home about. And I have just started like the first 10 pages of Hare House by Sally Hinchcliffe. It starts kind of mysteriously. A woman's moved to Scotland. You get the feeling that she's leaving her past behind, but I don't really know what's in that past yet. So looking forward to getting to that. And then holiday stuff, we've had a very full couple of days. So
We got ice cream, it was really yummy.
yes, we just had ice cream. That's the most recent thing we did. Yesterday we explored a bit of Whitby.
We went to the beach and me and Daddy swam in the sea.
Yeah, we went to the beach. Ola and Rob did some swimming in the sea, doing a lot of stopping in cafes and eating food. We're spending all of our money on food this week. We also went up to see the whale bones and a statue of Captain Cook. And then this morning we got up and we left the house fairly early. I think we left the house like before 8:30. And we walked a couple of miles to Saltwick Bay, which is a beach that's good for fossil hunting. And we hunted for some fossils and we found some.
And we counted the 199 steps.
Oh yeah, and to get there we had to go up the steps past the Abbey.
And they're famous because there's exactly 199 of them.
They famously have exactly 199 steps, and we counted them on the way up and on the way down, and we are sure that there are 199. And that was a beautiful walk, because it was right along the coastline.
It was really scary because we were walking like right along a cliff.
Yeah, we were walking.
And there was only a small fence to stop us.
The path was very close to the cliff edge, and the cliff does not look very stable at places. Honestly, I feel like that's been the best part of my day, actually doing that walk, because the sun was out, it was so pretty, the birds were flying around, the Abbey is just spectacular.
I found a fossilised bullet.
Yeah, Ola found like a fossilised torpedo thing.
And we found some fossilised mussels and fossilised shells.
So we found a couple of fossils, and then we've walked back, we've done a little bit of shopping, had some ice cream, and now we've come back to the house to chill out for a couple of hours before we decide what else we're going to do today. Hi, so we're back from Whitby now. I can't remember what I filmed and what I haven't filmed. Holiday stuff, I think what I haven't recorded is that we went to Whitby Museum, and that was amazing. In fact, I went twice. We went one day as a family, and then the next day I grabbed a couple of hours. I went back on my own so I could read everything in there, and it was really good fun. They just had so much stuff, including fossils, animals. The Captain Cook exhibition was really, really interesting. Some very creepy dolls. Everything in there was just really amazing, and just a very nicely laid out museum. So that was really cool. What else did we do? We visited Whitby Abbey and had a really good look around, and Rob and Ola took lots of photos. That was a really beautiful and peaceful place, and again the Abbey Museum that was connected to it, really interesting, some beautiful exhibits. Just everything stirred my curiosity. I now want to go away and research more about St Hilda. I want to learn more about the first named English poet, whose name I've forgotten, Calderman, it was something like that. Yeah, I'm just just everything there sparked my curiosity. And it was also very fun to go visit somewhere that had such history linking back to like the Norman Conquest, when I'd just been reading the Doomsday Detective series. That's just all those white books on the bookshelf there. All of that was really enjoyable. So yeah, we've had a great 5 days in Whitby. Absolutely loved it. I can't wait to go back again. I'd love to go back in the autumn and winter when it's all a bit stormy and windswept. I think that would be a very cool time to visit. So we're back home now, and yesterday I finished Hare House by Sally Hinchcliffe. This was a fantastic book. This ticked a lot of the boxes of things I love in books, including an unreliable narrator, Scotland, folklore, an old country manor house, strange families, small town community, bit scary, bit creepy. I will say the ending is ambiguous and not all the mysteries are spelled out and wrapped up neatly and tidily, like maybe you would want. I feel like I maybe want this. I feel like I need to go find people who have also read this book and decide what we all think about it and decide who was responsible for what. So there is some mystery left by the end of the book, but I enjoyed the ride even if the ending didn't explain everything, and I think I'm okay with a bit of mystery left in there. And I feel like now I know what I do know, if I went back and reread it, I would spot more clues and have a stronger idea of what happened where and when. I have my own theories about this book, but I don't want to say them in case I spoil it for anybody who hasn't read it yet. But it was just such a good book. And I tell you something else. In the opening pages, I wasn't sure if I was going to like the main character. I felt like she was just going to be a bit of like a stand-in for the audience, and a bit of like, I thought it was going to be a bit more wishy-washy than it was. I thought, you know, she's a woman who's kind of escaping a past, going to stay in the cottage next to a manor house, falling in love a little bit with the handsome lord of the manor. And I just thought I knew where it was going to go, and I didn't at all. And actually, as more and more details of the narrator's past filtered through the text, she became more and more interesting and intriguing to me. And she's not a stand-in for the reader at all. She's her own unique person, but she's also covered in a layer of mystery, and I really, really enjoyed that. So yeah, this is a library book, but it's now on my wish list to buy because I think it's one that I will reread and enjoy again in the future. So that was a great successful read. It is Saturday the 21st of June. If I am looking hot and bothered, it is because I am. The UK is having a heat wave, so it is very, very hot today. So I'm sat in the shade in the garden trying to stay cool. I have a Luna behind me. I don't know if you can see her. There she is. She's also in the shade trying to stay cool. Anyway, I have finished Test Kitchen, and I think this one has ended up being a little bit disappointing. It started quite strong. It is so beautifully written. Again, it was hard for me to keep up with the prose. It was so well written and descriptive and intelligent, and it's doing very interesting things with time, and it was juggling a lot of characters. So you got a lot of little snapshots of the different customers and their lives who were at the restaurant. There was a central story of the ghost of one of the waitress staff. It is very eerie and surreal. There's kind of magical realism in here. It's very bizarre and had a lot of things that I would love, apart from it kind of didn't know what it wanted to be. So some of it is almost written like a collection of short stories. So each different customer and each different chef or staff member kind of gets their own little short story chapter in the book. And these were often very weird and different to one another. And there's this central story of like a murder mystery to be solved as well. I think the issue is that the further I got into it, the more it became apparent was that these stories weren't really going to tie together in a satisfactory way, and it didn't. Like, by the time you reached the end of the book, there was no moment of like, I see, and this is the central theme of the book, or this is where things join together. They just kind of didn't. What this really wanted to be was a short story collection themed around food and a fine dining experience. And if it had been that, it would have been great, but it was kind of also trying to be a novel at the same time, and that's where it doesn't quite work because it doesn't come together. And there's far too many questions that are left unanswered, which you can get away with in a short story. But in a novel, you do need to kind of branch these things together. And a lot of the ideas that were introduced but were never dug into, and were never questioned and never scrutinised and never kind of complemented another, idea that was being used. So there was an idea of parallel lives, an idea of a secret underworld of chefs, ghosts, and none of it really came together in a coherent way. So it was great in parts, but as a whole didn't quite work for me, which was a shame and a bit frustrating. So never mind, we move on. So now I'm starting the final book in my library haul, and that is Northwoods by Daniel Mason. I've just read the opening prologue, which is about a couple lovers running away from their Puritan society and coming to a place where I'm guessing they're going to build this Northwoods house. I don't really know what to expect, but I'm looking forward to read it and dive in. Hi, it is Tuesday the 1st of July. I actually haven't progressed with my reading since my last entry. I ended up taking a week off reading, so I'm still in the early chapters of Northwoods. And I am listening to the early chapters of Unruly by David Mitchell. Both seem very, very good, but I'm too near the beginning to say much about them. So I'm going to end the vlog here. Oh, I can't remember if I ever told you that I finished The Great Hunt. But I finished listening to The Great Hunt and it was absolutely fantastic. What a book that is. I feel like the first book of The Wheel of Time, you're like, this is good, but some of it feels a bit similar to Lord of the Rings, and that's a bit distracting. Book 2 is entirely its own thing and really, really enjoyable. And man, I have got so much out of it this time through, and I can't wait to talk about it in more detail with Rachel. I've made lots of notes. It's just a fantastic experience, and I'm looking forward to getting into the next one. What's the next one called? Is it called The Dragon Reborn? I can never remember any of the titles for Wheel of Time. But I'm looking forward to getting into book 3, and I'm enjoying the books that I have on the go. But yeah, I'm going to end the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you've had a great reading month, and we'll see you next time. Bye!